Hey guys, so here we are. We've just got everything settled and set up. The corals and some of the fish are in here, and then some of the smaller fish are in there, in that 10-gallon container holding tank. I wish I could have made, more of a effort to film the process of getting everything over here and set up, but it's been a very stressful couple of days. And I guess once you start getting your hands in the tank and start pulling things out, you don't really want to stop and break and things like that, because once you start pulling fish and corals out of the tank, that temperature of that water in those containers is going to drop. So it was just kind of a bit of a mad dash to just get everything done as quickly as possible, really. So we started off by pulling all the live rock out of the tank, and the live rock went into those two big grey containers that I showed you earlier at the beginning of the tank breakdown. Then the fish were split between this 5-gallon bucket and that 5-gallon bucket, and then the corals were individually packed in these various size Ziploc bags, and then placed into these fishing container or transport boxes, or whatever you want to call them, and that worked out really well. So the fish that we have in here is the yellow watchman goby, Halfrigi firefish, and the pistol shrimp and cleaner shrimp. The reason these guys are in here is just because they're a little bit more sensitive, they're a little bit smaller. I want to be able to keep an eye on these guys, especially the Halfrigi firefish. He is my prize fish of the tank, and I don't want anything to happen to him. So, once it comes to moving everything out of this tank, out of the holding container, I don't want to have to be worrying about where the Halfrigi firefish or the yellow watchman goby are or anything like that. So I want to know where they are constantly, so hence why I set up that 10-gallon tank. Everything else, all the other corals, inverts and fish are in here, and they seem to be handling it pretty well. And as I stare down, you can see some of the fish there. They seem reasonably happy for the cramped quarters that they're in, but that's okay. So holding container wise, I have 3 of the Eheim 150 watt heaters in here, scattered around various places. I have an Airstone, I have a Coralia Evo Wavemaker pump, pump, and then I have the protein skimmer set up as well. So no real filtration except for biological filtration, and then mechanical with the protein skimmer, but I can't really dial that one in that easily at this point, because I cleaned it. It needs to break in again. It does break in pretty quickly, but I can't exactly look down to see how far the gap is open. So I'm just gonna wing it, basically, hope for the best. It's only going to be here for a couple of days, so you could probably even get away without having the skimmer, but yeah, I just thought I'd throw it in there just to be safe. I got the Radion set up. They're going to be on their usual schedule, and they are sitting on egg crate, which is being supported by the Bosch frames, and that's working quite nicely for me. That's about it, I think. 2 things that I'd recommend with any tank move is have a friend help you. I had a friend help me out, and it was, definitely more beneficial to have him there than it was not. Just even if it's just there to help you hand things down and put them in the container, it was a massive help, and it just made the whole process that little bit less stressful. One thing I didn't really factor in so far as once I started pulling everything out of the tank is that the water temperature in the buckets and the bags and the boxes would start dropping. So I realized that it had been about an hour since I first started pulling out the first corals from the tank, And by that time when I dipped my finger in the water, it was noticeably colder or cooler than the tank water. So I had a bit of a moment of panic there, where I really had to start moving and getting things done quickly. And I felt that, you know, if I was rushing things, I'd make a mistake. And luckily, you know, I got all the corals and I got all the fish, and I got as many of the inverts as I could over here. So really pleased with that. I just hope everybody makes it through these next few days, where they're in the holding containers, and everyone stays reasonably happy. I pulled all the live rock from the tank and from the sump area, and that's all over here now. I do have some additional rock that I picked up from Premium Aquatics, which I'll use. I won't be reusing my sand. You don't actually want to reuse your sand. The reason being is because that sand is trapping a whole bunch of waste, and as soon as you start messing with that sand bed, you're going to release all of that waste into your water. So if you reuse that sand in a new tank, you're going to find that you're going to have high nitrates. You might want to take a little bit just to reseed your tank, but apart from that, I would not recommend it. So I've bought some new sand as well. But, you know, again, this is all for a conversation later on in the next couple of days when we start getting everything set up. So guys, definitely more questions, comments, let me know. I have no problems answering anything regarding the move. I'm pretty tired and my mind's not really thinking straight, so I'm sure I've left some things out that I should be mentioning to you. Yeah, I guess that's it. We'll be back in a couple days with the tank move. And one thing I do want to say is that I don't know if I said at the beginning of the video or not, but I do want to apologize for not documenting the process of how I moved things and what I did to set up the holding container and things like that. It's really hard, because once you start getting into it, it's really hard to stop and break. And I'm doing all of this off of a phone. I don't have a tripod or a video camera or something like that I can set up and film myself. I'm doing it all off of a handheld camera, so it is hard. But I hope you guys will appreciate that, and I hope you'll appreciate the videos that I've got coming out as well for the new tank setup. So, all right, well I'm done. I'm tired, and I'm gonna go, and I will see you guys in the next couple of days. Thanks. Bye.